Good evening, everyone, from Los Angeles. The third game of the series between the Cardinals and the Dodgers. And again, we've got a wonderful evening for baseball. Glad you have joined us. 72 degrees here this evening. Clear skies overhead. A nice night as a big crowd is coming into Dodger Stadium with an excellent pitching pairing for us this evening. Fernando Valenzuela going against Greg Matthews. Jay Randolph along with Mike Shannon. Jack Buck will be along a bit later on. A couple of 1-0 shutouts here in the first two games.
Well, I think the big point is tonight is the rookie fantasizing on beating the great Fernando here in Dodger Stadium. We'll have a big crowd with the left-hander on the hill. He always draws well here in Los Angeles. And as Jay told you, neither one of these ball clubs are sending much offense out. We've had 2 runs scored in the 2 games here, and they've both been unearned. And it'll be interesting to see if anybody can muster some offense against these 2 fine left-handers.
And we'll come back and bring you the starting lineups for tonight's action right after these messages.
For the Cardinals, the young rookie Greg Matthews, the left-hander on the hill tonight. He's 4-1. And he'll try to best the Dodger left-hander Fernando with Coleman, Smith, and Herr, Nicely, Landrum, and Heath, Van Slyke, Pendleton, and of course the left-hander Greg Matthews. So a pair of left-handers here tonight produce left-handed lineups that hit from the right side. And here's how the Dodgers will stack up for Fernando. And he's a 10-game winner already. If he can win here tonight, he'll have a shot at going to the All-Star game once again. Sachs, Landreau, and Russell. Cabell, Trevino, and Hamilton, the young rookie at third. Williams, another rookie in center field, with Mariano Duncan back into action. He'll be at shortstop again this evening. And Fernando with that 10-6 record and an ERA of 3.44. He's always tough, this guy. He has a shot, a very good shot at winning 20 this season, and that's something he's never been able to do. Nice crowd filing in here to Dodger Stadium on a pleasant evening, and we'll come back out to Los Angeles and show you this Cardinal Dodger action right after this.
Well, here's the way it looks at Dodger Stadium tonight.
Landreau, Williams, Russell, the same outfield as last night. And ditto as far as the infield is concerned, with Hamilton, Duncan, Sachs, Cabell, Fernando on the hill, and Alex Trevino behind the dish.
Little activity today. Dave LaPointe, the former Cardinal, traded from Detroit to San Diego for Mark Thurman. Ed Whitson from the New York Yankees to San Diego for right-handed reliever Tim Stoddard.
So the Western Dakota San Diego Padres trying to help themselves. We have some finals that will run across you as we go along here in the first. The Cincinnati Reds really whacked the Mets today, 11-1.
And we're set to go with Coleman standing in against Fernando Valenzuela. Coleman batting .253, and we're underway as he hits it into left center. And on the run, it is Williams making the play, and 1 pitch and 1 out.
Montreal a winner over Houston 2-1, so they pick up a game on the Mets. There was Atlanta over Philadelphia 7-3. Pittsburgh's playing on the coast out here against San Diego, and the Cubs at San Francisco today beat the Giants 4-3 in the American League. California behind Don Sutton and his 303rd win knocked off Minnesota 6-1. Cleveland a winner over Chicago 6-3, and Negro won his 306. So all you guys over 40, hang in there.
It's been quite a year for the over-the-hill bunch. Well, 294 for Ozzie Smith as he stands in.
Started with your old buddy Jack Nicklaus. He put everybody back on the map, didn't he?
And Mr. Shoemaker and Charlie Whittingham combining to win a Kentucky Derby with Ferdinand. And then Bob Murphy wins the Canadian. A play for Trevino, and Ozzie fouls out. Tom Herr will be coming in as we show you this play again.
Ah, the classic catcher looking up. One of these days, we're going to see a catcher look up, see the baseball, and run back to it, looking down at the ground.
All right.
Just to have a little new spice in the game. We'll have to talk to one of those really good catchers and see if he'll do that for us.
Tommy Herr batting .217. He's played very well at the plate and in the field in recent weeks, but got off to a terribly slow start. Valenzuela has been more consistent than spectacular since that extraordinary arrival in the majors in '81. And there you can see how Fernando's doing this year. Had some tough luck in '85, reflected in a bizarre April when he was the National League Pitcher of the Month despite a 2-3 record. At that time, he had an incredible 0.21 ERA.
What was his record? 2-3?
That's right. Didn't have much support.
I'd say he should have taken him to court. Hey, speaking of court, Jay, there's going to be a heck of a new show on NBC this year.
There sure is. It's all about the law. And we're going to be talking this evening, Mike, about some of the new program coming this fall on NBC and Channel 5. There's a strike on the outside corner. Fernando gets the Cardinals 1-2-3 after a half inning of play here in Dodger Stadium. No score. It'll be Sachs, Landreau, and Russell coming up. The Cardinals in the field with Californian Greg Matthews on the hill. Coleman, Van Slyke, and Landrum, Pendleton, Smith, Herr, and Nicely, and Heath doing the catching tonight. Matthews, born in Harbor City, California, he grew up just down the road and graduated from Savannah High in Anaheim in '80. Played a couple of years at Santa Ana Junior College. Selected by the Cardinals in the 10th round of the June '84 free agent draft. Remember, in his last outing up at San Francisco, he was bothered by an inflamed nerve in his hip. As far as we know, he is okay and ready to go. A 2.66 ERA, 4-1 the record, and he'll open up against a man who has been very hot for these Dodgers, Steve Sachs. Sachs is batting .223, 28 runs batted in, 4 home runs. The umpires tonight: Bob Davidson behind the plate, John Kibler, the crew chief, is at first, Bruce Frumming at second, and Randy Marsh is at third. There's a strike. The Dodgers batting only .249 as a team, 66 home runs, 87 stolen bases. They've committed 100 errors, turned only 59 double plays. The curveball must have been a little low. The Dodgers are 17-17 against left-handers this season, 20-19 against the East, 26-33 at night. Down the right side, Sachs continues his hot hitting. Landrum is over quickly. The throw to second, not in time. A double by Steve Sachs, and I thought Landrum could have made it closer, Mike.
Well, his throw was a very weak one. It's all right to bounce the ball when you're playing on AstroTurf when you throw it to the infield. Good job by Sachs there. He waited on that curveball and took it the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4 hops. Tito gets it, but watch the ball when he throws it in. It bounces 3 times. And Tommy knew after bouncing in the grass and then on the dirt that there's no way he could get him, so he cut it off. We've got some folks here from back St. Louis way. Mike Hinkhouse is here from Madison County, rooting for the Cards.
Landreau, a shot into center field. They're going to send him, and he is out. Throw down to second. Gets by, but behind the play there is the center fielder, Van Slyke. So Sachs, trying to score, is cut down.
Tremendous play by Andy Van Slyke, because the runner Sachs left very quickly off of second base. He had a good look at this little Texas leaguer. You see him leave right away, and still Andy charging very hard, makes the throw home, a very good one, and a good tag by the catcher as Heath comes down and puts the tag on Sachs before he can get there. Andy really unloads on this one, the one step, and Heath throws a perfect shot in there. Heath does a good job going up to get the ball. Then he throws down to second, and watch Tommy catch that ball off his wrist. That thing hit right on his wrist, and it smarts. So it'll be a single. Score at 8-2 on the putout, and you give Landreau second base on the throw. 1-0. You thought Dodgers, but not so. Van Slyke with good defense.
And Bill Russell batting at .234.
Good base running, by the way, on both Sachs's part and Landreau's part. I thought that Sachs was tremendous, seeing that ball coming off the bat and taking a look at the outfielder headed in so quickly, because the ball only bounced about 10 feet in front of the Cardinal center fielder.
1 ball and no strikes, the count to Bill Russell, the veteran.
Nick Sherry Frogleg from back around the New Berlin, Illinois area here tonight rooting for the Cards.
1 ball and 1 strike. Ken and Danette Duckworth are here from the St. Louis area. We got a lot of St. Louisans out here on the West Coast. That's low. Mike Shinnemeyer is here from Union, Missouri. Lives in the LA area now. Die-hard Cardinal fans, he says. Russell 272, a career average against the Cardinals. 2 home runs and 42 RBIs over the years. 3 balls and 1 strike. Dale and Donna Woodson and their daughter Angie are here vacationing from the St. Louis area. And the walk. 2 on and 1 out. First pass given up by Matthews. Matthews got a lot of his friends and neighbors here to watch him tonight.
When he pitched in St. Louis, the only loss he's had this year, Jay, came in St. Louis when his parents flew back from the West Coast to watch the Cardinal make his first start in Busch Stadium. And it appears that he's a little nervous in the outset with friends and family here again this evening at Dodger Stadium.
Enos Cabell's batting .227. Cabell traded to the Dodgers in July of '85. That's a little low. Some newlyweds, Scott and Sherry McMurtry, who have moved from the St. Louis area out here. They say they miss listening to our Cardinal telecasts on a regular basis. Foul outside of third.
You can get this guy, Enos Cabell, on the double play if you can get him to hit it on the ground.
Joe M. Mooney is here from St. Louis. Said I was able to arrange this trip. And glad to see the Cardinals.
Say, you're big out here in Los Angeles, James. I've never seen so many notes addressed to you. Piles of them.
Somebody sent me a note. Wants me to say hello to somebody in Minnesota for them. I think we'll have to pass on that. I do want to say
go ahead. Say hello to the folks in Minnesota.
Why, sure. Hello,
they got dishes up there, man. They're watching. Come on.
2 balls and 1 strike on Cabell. 2 on and 1 out.
All the way up in International Falls, Minnesota. They're listening and watching tonight.
Cabell right up the middle.
And
Landreau is coming, and the play at the plate not in time, and the runners move to second and third. Well, that time it wasn't a very good throw on the part of the center fielder Van Slyke.
Well, he had to go down for this ball. If you can remember on the other throw, the ball bounced up to him, and consequently he didn't have to bend down like this one and then straighten up and throw. And that's where the real trick and art comes into throwing. You see, the throw was strong enough, if it would have been accurate. But it was way down the third base side, and a good job by Mike Heath to block that throw and keep it from going astray and letting another run score. Both runners moved up, by the way. The Dodgers are very aggressive here in their base running in the first inning.
And Mike Rourke, the Cardinal pitching coach, is out talking things over with the young left-hander. Kip Ingle, the assistant public relations director of the Cardinals, sent me a note. He'd like to say hello to his wife, Lisa, who is watching down in North Carolina tonight.
Kip also informs us that the Cardinal minor leagues have a new hitting instructor, Steve Braun. He's taken over that assignment. We also have a game change. That game on the 26th has been moved back to its original start.
Well, Rourke has talked things over. Jim and Holly Durbin are here from Crestwood, Missouri tonight.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's all right.
Don Kittrell and Rick Myrtle visiting L.A. and here rooting for the Cardinals.
Mike
Right
Rourke,
now, the Dodgers are leading 1-0.
Mike Rourke trying to settle the youngster down.
Alex Trevino takes outside for a ball. Trevino's batting at .275. Matthews having a rugged first inning. Foul tip. 1 ball and 1 strike. Trevino from Monterrey, Mexico, came here from the Giants for Candy Maldonado. He was with the Mets and the Reds and the Braves in the past. He's had to do the bulk of the catching here lately. Curveball is outside.
He has the base open, and the rookie Hamilton coming up next, so he can afford to be careful here if he wishes. The infield's halfway. They could come home with the ball if they wanted.
2-2. Note from Roger Remulus, who has returned from the VP Fair, son Royce, and says he never misses a Cardinal Dodger game. And the slow curve was just high. It's a full count. 1 run is home. Russell's at third. Cabell at second. Fouled away, and we'll do it again. Cardinals will bust their way to San Diego tonight. After this one, we'll televise from there on Saturday and Sunday. Mike Bush will be sitting in for me as I'll be away at the Anheuser-Busch Classic at Williamsburg. Fouled away again.
That was a good pitch. That's where you have to pitch this guy. Inside, you've got to jam him. If you'll watch, he has a big swing and gets that bat way out over the plate. He likes the ball away from it. Speaking of that Anheuser-Busch Classic, Jay, see where O'Grady says he's going to play it.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, just inside. That loads them up. Second walk. And the Dodgers are on the verge of having a big inning if their youngster Jeff Hamilton can do something against Matthews. 1 run is home. The only out so far was when Sachs was cut down at the plate. And they are loaded up. Hamilton, as Mike told you last night, is up from the minors. They brought him up rather quickly, quicker than they would have liked. Fouled away. But, of course, they have a number of people on the DL here. 5 at the moment, including Pedro Guerrero and Dave Anderson, Greg Brock, Bill Madlock, and Mike Scioscia. That's why Trevino's doing the bulk of the catching. Swing and a miss. Boy, Matthews could use the strikeout here. Hamilton's only batting 158. He was out here yesterday working with Tommy Lasorda, taking some extra batting practice. Check fouled away.
So he's throwing first the fastball to this strong right-handed batter. He got a foul on it. Then he threw him the changeup. Now he comes back with the fastball. Be interesting to see if he tries to strike him out here or if he wastes a pitch. He's going to try with a strike.
Curveball is hit into left, and Coleman is not going to get to it. And they're going to get 1 home, 2 home, and 3 home. Coleman misjudged that ball, and it is 4-0 Los Angeles.
When Vince Coleman started after that baseball, he was cutting across towards center field. And then he saw that he misplayed it and cut back. The hanging curveball on 1 and 2, and Hamilton rips it. You see him start back now. See, he had started across, and of course on a line drive, you don't have much time.
Hamilton doubles his RBI total in the year. He went from 3 to 6 real quick, and here's Reggie Williams, young man from Memphis, Tennessee, batting .300.
And old Fernando must be sitting over there counting his tacos right now, man. 4 runs for him is like a vacation.
Yes, sir. Warm them up for him, huh? Oh, the Dodgers have got 4. Still only 1 out. And a shot into right. Hamilton had to hold up. And their runners at the corners with 1 gone. That's the 4th hit. The 5th hit now. And it's a rocky first inning.
This kid, Williams, has learned to go the other way. You see him go the other way with Matthew. No play, as the runner Hamilton had to make certain the ball wasn't going to be caught. So he hesitated a good count or 2 before he headed towards third. Now the infield will once again be in the situation where they'll have to play in at the corners, and halfway at short and second. Cardinals have Ray Burris throwing in the bullpen.
Ozzie came in to talk to the young left-hander. Mariano Duncan has hit 6 home runs, has 20 runs batted in, batting .224. The Dodgers shortstop popped up off the right side. Tommy Herr back on the grass, makes the play, and they're finally 2 out. But a pretty good hitting pitcher strolling to the dish, even though there's a left-hander on the hill. Fernando is a pretty good hitter. In fact, they used him here the other night as a pinch hitter, and he was successful as he got a base hit, and then he went from first to third on a ground ball to left field. The magnificent Matador strolls to the dish. Senor Valenzuela.
Fernando, man, his daddy knew exactly what name to give him. He looks like Fernando, doesn't he?
.203 is his batting average, and he had a cut. He has 4 runs batted in.
He's a good athlete. This kid started playing down in Mexico in those good Mexican leagues when he was about 14 years old. Maybe even sooner than that, Jay, about 13. So he knows how to play the game. He was schooled very well.
That just missed outside.
You know, when he was playing at the age of 14 and 15 in Mexico, he was playing about AA baseball. That's how good this kid was.
That's high. 2-1.
What a great signing this guy was. They got him for a piece of cake.
Fouled away. 2-2. He has a good cut up there once in a while, this fella.
Well, that's what a pitcher wants to do when he comes to the ballpark and he's the starter that day. He wants to bat in the first inning.
Into center field. Van Slyke is there. The Dodgers come up with 4 runs on 5 hits, no errors. They strand 2, and after 1, LA 4, St. Lou nothing. Out at Burbank today, they're really excited about it. Grant Tinker's done such a marvelous job in handling the programming for NBC. Friday nights going to be something this fall for you. The story is about LA's most influential law firm, a new series from the creator Mike of Hill Street Blues, as you know, and it's going to present rather gritty and grippy stories. I think the kind of stuff that we've seen of, you know, Hill Street.
Like Hill Street, but only on the law side rather than the
right.
detective side. They
That's
go
right.
from the street to the courtroom. And they asked Jennings and I to star in a couple of those, but we're too busy doing this Cardinal baseball. We had to turn them down. But we enjoyed seeing them shoot out there. And boy, it's going to be a good one. I think you'll enjoy it. I know I'm looking forward to it.
Friday nights at 9, beginning this September. Mark it down, L.A. Law. I really think you're going to enjoy that show. Alan Nicely is playing first base tonight.
It's always fun to be in the courtroom, isn't it? But what's even better than that, Jay, and what this show is going to do is get the stories as they unfold prior to going to the courtroom, and you get the whole ball of wax there.
Yes, indeed. 3 balls and no strikes. Nicely. Called up from Louisville, of course. There's a strike on the outside corner.
Even if they get all the attorneys in the country to watch it, they'll be way ahead. The Nielsen ratings will be way up. We've got tremendous numbers when it comes to attorneys in this business. I know.
We were overlawed.
No, not by any means. I know my father was an attorney. I have a son that's in his last
studying
year of law
for the bar,
school in Pepperdine.
Fly ball, right field. Bill Russell's out there. And Nicely is the first out of the second inning.
Batting fifth, number 21, right fielder
Tito Landrum is batting
Landrum.
only 171. He has 13 runs batted in and a home run. Cardinals batting .227 as a team and hit only 27 home runs. They lead the league in stolen bases with 132. 67 errors, 92 double plays. Of course, McGee not in the lineup again tonight.
Still bothered with that little aggravation, and I think what they're going to do with him is try to give him the rest of this road trip off, Jay, if they can, and then let him come back after the All-Star break. He could play, but it's a situation where he's just aggravating an injury.
2 balls and 1 strike.
We'll have to get a shot of Fernando tonight for you, close up, just as he goes into his windup and he looks to the heavens. Wonder what he sees up there when he looks up. He sees zeros is what he sees.
Zeros. Landrum began his career with the Cardinals in '73. 83, he was in the World Series for Baltimore, of course.
Had a big home run to get him into that series.
Sure did. Popped up. Steve Sachs ranging over.
You watch Fernando tonight. An experienced hurler. He has an excellent screwball, but he also has a very good fastball. And you see him here in this inning. He has a 4-run lead, and all he's doing is pumping the #1 in there, and he's gotten 2 pop-ups on it.
You can do that when you have a 4-0 lead. Heath is batting 196, 24 runs batted in. Mike with 4 home runs on the season.
Well, he's got a great screwball, Fernando. What makes it so good, besides having great rotation and the ball spinning and going down so well, is the motion that he gets on it. Can't tell the difference between the fastball that you see there and the screwball that he throws if you're watching his motion.
He got that one in on the inside corner.
All that does is
broken bat, grounder. Hamilton across the diamond, and Fernando has handled the first 6 in order. We played an inning and a half at Dodger Stadium, and it's LA 4, St. Louis nothing. Well, they have palm trees here in Los Angeles, and they're looking good. And
how do you know if those palm trees are looking good?
Well, they look all right to me. I want to talk a little bit about 1986. It airs this week at midnight for you, but Connie Chung, of course, who was on the air here for so many years in the Los Angeles area.
I want to see those Top Guns coming off that carrier. I love that action.
Well, it's America's Top Guns, carrier pilots who risk life and limb every time they land. And you'll also get the true story behind a Hollywood death that's been covered up for over 50 years. That's on 1986. Roger Mudd and Connie Chung doing a marvelous job on that program. Connie is one of the great women in television. We have some lovely women in television in St. Louis, of course. Karen Foss and Deanne Lane and Jennifer Blome, all on Channel 5.
You're going to give us a little teaser about who that body is that's been missing for 50 years?
Tune in, tune in. Now, 1986. on Sunday nights. And this week's edition, of course, as we mentioned, going to be aired at midnight, but of course you want to catch it a regular time through the year. They had an interesting story on counterfeiting last week, and
it's right up your alley, isn't it?
It's an interesting problem, I'll tell you. Sachs, 1 ball and 1 strike. Second inning, he started it all with a double, later was cut down at the plate.
Well, we'll be home in time to watch that thing Sunday night. Comes on at midnight, is that correct?
Well, just this week we have the midnight time, but
I'm glad you scheduled it that way, so
you are, huh?
We can fly back and catch it.
Well, a lot of folks, of course, can turn their recorders on if they don't want to stay up that late. 2-2.
What do you think? Everybody's as rich as you and has VCRs at home?
A lot of people have them, they tell me these days.
Look at
Pendleton coming across, throws out Sachs.
He is something when it comes to going to his left, isn't he? Tell you, the left side of that diamond is pretty well covered, I would think, with those 2 guys over there.
Landreau got one of the 5 hits in the first inning for the Dodgers and scored their first run.
When we come home, we'll be playing these West Coast clubs. Take on the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Padres in a nice homestand right after the All-Star break.
The All-Star game is in Houston. And the Cardinals' Ozzie Smith, of course, will be the starting shortstop. 1 ball and no strikes to Landreau. Cardinals traveling secretary, Mr. C.J. Cherry, has everything in readiness for the Redbirds to move down to San Diego this evening, where this western swing will come to a close. Heath coming back, and it is out of play. One ball and 2 strikes. Dodgers are leading at 4-0 as they sent 9 men to the plate in the first inning, and Hamilton got the big blow. He drove in 3 of the 4 runs. Cabell got the other RBI. We don't have quite a full house here tonight, Mike, but it's a real good crowd. Inside, 2-2.
It'll be interesting to see if Los Angeles, in fact, does get their key players back off the disabled list healthy and ready to go in the second half of the season.
Ozzie throws him out. Landreau broke the bat, grounded out to short.
Right fielder.
How many times do you think a pitcher goes to the mound during his career, stays around for a while, and looks back and wishes he could erase a first inning situation?
Yeah, boy.
Especially the good pitchers, Jay. It's, you know, fellas like Koufax, Drysdale, Gibson, Marichal, Perry, all the great ones. Take Seaver, you go on. Good play by Vince as he comes in to rob Russell of a base hit. How many times do you think those guys went that first inning? They had trouble. Once they settled down,
yeah, you had to get to those names early, I'll tell you that. It'll be Van Slyke and Pendleton and Matthews in the third. We played 2, 4-0 Dodgers. This telecast is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the St. Louis National Baseball Club solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Cardinals and Major League Baseball is prohibited. Well, we move into the third inning. Andy Van Slyke to lead it off.
Fernando can't wait for him to get in there. Look at him, man. He's pawing at the pitching rubber there. As you see, Andy, he's really come alive out here in the last couple of games. He's gotten a couple of big hits, 2 hits here last night. As the Cardinals win the ball game 1-0, and we go to the third here for the final of the 3-game set with the Dodgers leading 4-0. They got 4 runs on 5 hits in the first inning.
Mike, you saw the Natural and wonderful baseball movie with Robert Redford.
That was a beauty, that bat. When I liked how he got that bat out of that tree when the lightning struck.
I'll tell you, in the fireworks at the end. Well, a lot of folks, I'm sure, will remember Wilford Brimley, who was the manager of that team. Right. And
crusty old cat, wasn't he?
Well, he's going to play a grandfather and move his daughter-in-law and 3 kids in with him. And
whoa, wait, say that again.
Yeah, well, that's it. His daughter-in-law and the 3 kids with him, and they got America's newest family show coming up this fall.
They can do 1,000 segments of that baby. They'll have all kinds of copy.
It's, of course, Wilford Brimley also was in Cocoon, and it's going to be Sunday nights at 6 this fall. And it's called Our House, and it should be a ball. New this fall on NBC and Channel 5. And hope you'll be a regular in your house watching Our House this September.
A fastball on a 2-2, and Van Slyke is the second strikeout victim for Fernando, and it brings in Terry Pendleton. The old 2-2 fastball from Fernando. Right down the middle. I told you this guy had a better fastball than you might imagine, and Andy Van Slyke is witness. Terry has really changed his attack at the plate. He gets himself an infield single off the pitcher, a 1-out single here in the 3rd. You watch him, he's really changed his entire batting stance this season compared to last. Let's take a look. See how open he is, facing the pitcher a little more. Fernando just couldn't come up with that one. One off the heel of his glove, and that's all Terry needed to reach safely. And now Matthews will try to sacrifice. He is one of those creatures, Greg is, that throws left and bats right. Amazing how many pitchers do that.
Well, too far out of play.
One thing we're going to have Greg do is work on his bunting for 1987. I tell you, it's such a great advantage for a pitcher if he can bunt. He's asked to bunt almost as much as he's asked to swing the bat. And Greg has really been deficient in that particular phase of the game in his rookie season.
Do they use deficient in the dugout?
Yes, they sometimes they use it in a hyphenated word.
Hyphenated, I see.
Aha!
Hey.
The kid gets it down. A sacrifice is a beauty, and down to second goes Terry Pendleton. And it's up to Vince Coleman, the Cardinal leadoff man.
Left fielder.
Let's see, Bunting on 0-2. He got one up out over the plate, just right. Then strolls slowly to the dish. All right, watch out. He gets himself ready. Then he'll step out of the batter's box, take a practice swing, hitch up the belt, tug on the baseball helmet, get back in. He does that almost every time a pitch is made to him. Too low and inside. Pendleton at second, 2 down. We're in the 3rd. They play Vince to hit into right. They give him all of the left field line. Inside again, a base open, and Ozzie Smith, the switch hitting shortstop, next.
Cubs beat the Giants 4-3 in 10 innings today. The Reds 11-1 over the Mets, and the Braves 7-3 over the Phillies.
Out of play off the bat of the Cardinal leadoff man. Also, Cincinnati over the Mets 11-1, and Montreal knocked off Houston 2-1, so they pick up a full game. Atlanta knocked off the Phillies 7-3. Pittsburgh's playing just down the coast at San Diego tonight. And the little weak pop-up handled by the first baseman, and Coleman's 0 for 2, and the Cardinals fail to score. They get a hit, they strand a man. We go to the Dodger half of the 3rd. Los Angeles leads 4-0.
Later in tonight's game, we'll give the Midas Touch Award out. The award, a donation to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in the name of tonight's most outstanding player. 4-0 Dodgers. Cabell to lead it off. 3rd inning.
Got to give those guys a new muffler along with that.
All right. You think they need a new muffler?
Well, you never know when you need a new muffler, and if you do, what a better place to get it. A big curve, misses a little low to Enos Cabell, as he'll lead it off for the Dodgers here in the third. 4-0 LA. Good changeup, and Enos was looking for the old express. That's kind of like when your brakes get wet. You hit the brakes and you keep on going. That's how that bat feels.
That's no fun.
That's how that bat feels when you send it out there after a fastball and it's a changeup. You hit the brakes, but she just picks up speed.
2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah.
Cabell singled the run home in the first, and then later scored himself. He can't catch up with that changeup, so Matthews has thrown him all 3 of his deliveries: the fastball, the curve, and the change, and he has him 2-2. They give Enos right center. Comes in tonight with a .227 batting average. Dodgers picked him up as a pinch hitter and a part-time player. And of course, he's been pressed into action with all the injuries, just like a lot of these extra people on the Dodger roster. And they've had to dip down into the minor leagues to boot. And they're still in this action in the West.
Oh, yeah.
They find themselves in last place, but only 8 games out.
Well, nobody has run off the way the Mets have over here in the West, of course.
Mets are 10.5 games out now, as they lost today and Montreal won. Cardinals come into this action 22 games out, so they'll either stay at 22 or be 21 before the night's over. Cubs also 22 out to start. They won today, so they could pick up. They have picked up a full game, and they're now 21 out. And if the Cardinals lose here, they'll drop behind the Chicago Cubs. Cabell taken care of by Tito Landrum, and that'll bring in Alex Trevino, the catcher. He's having a pretty good season out here, getting to play with Socha injured, batting .275. When this ball game commenced, has 3 home runs, 8 RBIs.
Dodgers let Yeager go. He's over in the American League.
He's struggling with some injuries over there himself.
Yes.
He's with Seattle. And another good changeup from Greg Matthews. So he had a rocky first inning, faced 9 men, was touched for 5 hits, 4 runs. Since then, he's settled down. In fact, he's retired 6 in a row now. He got the final 2 in the first, retired him in order in the second. Foul ball. The ball hit Trevino when he was still in the batter's box. Good look at the Cardinal catcher, Mike Heath. Alex Trevino is also from Mexico. He's from Monterrey, Mexico, and we have an all-Mexican battery here tonight with Fernando and Alex doing the pitching and catching. You can bet that the Spanish networks are covering this in full tonight. And a strikeout for Greg is his first of the night, and he's set down 7 in a row. It's amazing. See this kid, he can really pitch, Jay, but he has all kinds of people out here. Of course, he's from this area.
Just down the road at Anaheim.
Mother, his father, his grandparent out here watching him, plus 30 or other 40 other
All
folks.
his high school buddies.
Right, everybody's here tonight. He had the old butterflies in the first inning, and he did the same thing in St. Louis.
He had the longest pass list of the night, I can tell you that.
Of course, the Cardinals have quite a few players from California.
They sure do.
And that always presents a problem for the traveling secretary when he has to go into the office and ask for about 150 extra tickets. Too low with that delivery, and it's 2-1 now on Jeff Hamilton, the rookie third baseman. He doubled with the bases loaded in the first. Scored them all. Gets himself another hit. The kid is 2 for 2 tonight. And it will bring in Reggie Williams, who's batting better than 300. Kid reached out and pulled that ball through the hole pretty well. Jeff Hamilton, a young man from Michigan. The Dodgers would have preferred to leave him at the AAA level. But once again, the injuries have forced big league action upon him, and of course he doesn't mind that. As you can see, Reggie's hit very well against the Cards this season. A 2-out single by Hamilton brings in Reggie Williams. Williams singled in the first, and his average is over the 300 mark now. It's up to 305. Curve too low, and it's a good hit and run situation now for the Dodgers. Williams has not hit a home run. These two clubs, the lowest two clubs, as far as these two starting lineups are concerned tonight, in the home run totals, they have their big guys home run wise out. Franklin Stubbs and Mike Marshall on the bench. Good changeup. 1-1. And there's our old buddy, the robust Bruce Fleming, one of the best umpires in the game down there at second base tonight.
The Dancing Bear.
Again, he gets the changeup where he wants it. And he has Williams set up to become the second strikeout victim. Boston's still hanging on in the AL East. They lead the Yankees by 8. California squeaking by over in the Western Division as once again Gene Mock tries to get himself to the World Series. Down the line, and let's see if Hamilton can score. Good job by the Cardinal left fielder to hold him at third, and it's a double by Williams, and it will bring in Duncan. They'll walk Duncan, and they'll pitch to Fernando. And because of the double, let's take another look at it.
Shortstop.
After all those change-ups, you know, Reggie was staying back, and when he got the curveball hanging in his eyes, he drilled it past third. That sent Hamilton to third base, and now they'll walk Duncan, and they'll pitch to Fernando. That would be my guess. Let's see if they do, in fact, do that. Yes. They'll work to Fernando with the bases loaded, 2 down. So both Hamilton and Williams now 2 for 2 in this game, and there are 7 base hits against the Cardinal starter Greg Matthews. Fernando could bust this game wide open. The Dodger left-hander flied to center field his first time to end the first inning. They had 2 men on at the time, and now he'll come to the plate with 3 men on. Listen to the hand for the Dodger left-hander. They love him out here in this Los Angeles area. And rightly they should. He's given them some big thrills. Fernando. I'll say one thing for this young man. He'll be up there hacking. He likes to swing the bat. Curveball had him a little off stride. He enjoys hitting. He'd rather hit a home run than strike out 23 guys. I told you he'd go up there hacking. He hadn't let anything go by. And if this one's close, he'll go whipping at it too. Unless he runs that fastball right in on his hands. An easy play for Tommy Herr, and the Dodgers strand 3 more. They've left 5 as they get 2 hits and fail to score in this 3rd inning. After 3, Fernando and the Dodgers lead 4-0.
July 19th is baseball day at Busch Stadium. The 20th will be Camera Day. Pfizer Day comes up on the 26th. Sport Bag Day. Well, that's a nice one. July 27th. Coffee Mug Night is August the 6th, the Wednesday evening. And Sunday, August 10th is T-Shirt Day. Well, they've announced the American League All-Star team. Kirby Puckett edged out Jackson in the outfield. Henderson, Winfield, and Puckett in the outfield. Ripken, the top vote getter at shortstop. George Brett at third. Lance Parrish will do the catching. Wally Joyner first base. He's from California. Lou Whitaker of Detroit at second base.
And Ozzie Smith, ball one. We're underway, fourth inning. The Cardinals have only one scratch hit off of Fernando, who is trying to win number 11. He's a definite candidate for the All-Star team. The screwball made Ozzie look bad. The National League All-Star starters will be announced tomorrow.
And Brett in capturing a starting position. That's 11 consecutive years for him. And he moves into a second place tie with Jackson on the all-time list. Carew has played in the most all-star games in the American League, 15.
Ozzie Smith will make it. He'll be the only Cardinals starter.
Well, you're an all-star as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
but I ain't going.
You're not going, huh?
Yeah. If I ain't talking, I ain't walking. 2-2 the count to Smith, and he chops at it foul. That keeps him up there at the plate. Well, the Mets lost the entire series to Cincinnati. What do you think of that? And Montreal won, so they picked up a game. Cincinnati's only 5.5 out. Another foul by Ozzie. Fernando has packed him in. A lot of the folks seated here are on delay, waiting for the crack of the bat to reach him about 20 seconds after the fact.
Pirates lead the Padres now 4-3, fifth inning down at San Diego.
Cardinals usually do pretty well against Fernando. Although this year Valenzuela is 2-0 against the Redbirds. Ozzie gets a piece of another. You can see Ozzie waiting, and just trying to make some kind of contact. Smith hits it very well into left, and it is caught by the left fielder, Landreau. Landreau can still go get the ball in the outfield, and he tracked it down, and there's one out. Valenzuela's 8-4 lifetime against the Cards. Well, that's the best hit ball against this pitcher. Landreau covered some ground. This is not a big outfield as you have in some parks. Herr was called on strikes his first time.
330 down the lines, 385 to the alleys, 395 out the center.
The ball doesn't usually fly out of here. And the Cardinals don't have many in the lineup who can pump it out. Well, Dave Thurman went to Detroit. I've always thought him to be a very good pitcher. Dave LaPointe goes to San Diego, so we'll see him back in this league. And Ed Whitson goes to San Diego for Tim Stallard, who goes to the Yankees. Strike two on Herr. .216 average for Tom. Aim for that outside corner. Fernando can really put the ball on the black, as they say, away from the right-handed batters. Boy, he can place that ball unerringly over the outside corner. Then he throws the screwball. There's a fastball, and that is a diving try and a base hit. Herr goes on to second base. Good try by the center fielder, Reggie Williams, but he couldn't come up with it. Herr has a one-out double.
First baseman, Alan Nicely.
He nearly made this play, Jack.
Second base umpire was hustling on it. He should have caught the ball. Looked like it went off the thumb of his glove.
That's right. I think he dived just a bit prematurely.
He didn't know how fast he could dive. Ought to come out and practice tomorrow. Put a watch on himself and see how long it takes him to dive into the ground. Let's see if Alan Nicely can cut in on the Dodger 4-0 lead here in the 4th inning. Nicely flied out his first time. He's hitting under 200. And he's driven in 1 run. He has home run power, hits it foul. 1-1. Talking about Valenzuela being able to hit that outside corner. Because he does that so very well, and I'm not taking anything away from him. And the umpires frequently give him that pitch that's an inch or 2 or 3 off the plate on the outside. Foul, 1-2. He won 17 last year. And he's attempting to win number 11. We've had a couple of 11-game winners, Sid Fernandez and Raleigh of Philadelphia, Shane Raleigh. Dwight Gooden tried for number 11 tonight, didn't get it, lost instead. Krukow tried last night for number 11, didn't get it. And Nepper tried tonight, and he didn't get it. Valenzuela has 10, and so does Mailer of Atlanta. Goes nicely. That's the 3rd strikeout. Hurst stays at second, 2 out, and it is up to Tito Landrum. You know, that Atlanta club is only 3 games out. San Diego with a victory tonight would only be 1 game behind Houston and the Giants. They both lost today.
And San Diego doing a little dealing and wheeling.
Trying to bolster their club. At second base, 2 out. Landrum popped out his first time. Tito seems to be missing his pitches. Gets good cuts frequently, but has not been making good contact. Ball 1. Ball 2. The on-deck hitter is Mike Heath. Greg Matthews gave up 4 runs in the first. Made a terrible pitch to Hamilton with the bases loaded and 1 out. Had no balls, 2 strikes to count. Landrum pops it foul, and it's going to go out of play. On top of the cage down there. Trevino hustled back. When we first came out here, movie stars galore used to come and watch the Dodger games, and they were seated in those little cages down there at field level, as you see behind the umpire right now. A lot of people keep asking about the fella in the white hat back there with the cigar and what he does back there. Well, he has the radar gun, and he times the velocity of the pitches. He's a sinister looking guy. He's from Cuba. He's a nice guy, good friend of ours.
Very nice fella. He
looks sneaky, though.
He only has those straw hats. That's all he has. And he does look menacing.
3-1 to Landrum. Come on, Tito. High fly ball into the corner, and it's going to be caught. He was short by about 10 feet out there, and that ends the inning. Landrum took dead aim at the left field seats, but Landrum flied out to Landro. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left. Cards have left 2. Bottom of the 4th inning. Dodgers on top, 4-0. 4th inning, and Steve Sachs will bat for the 3rd time. He started with a double, and it looked like the Dodgers had goofed it up. They lost Sachs at the plate on a base hit by Landro with nobody out. A good throw by Van Slyke and a good tag by Heath. But then a walk to Russell, single by Cabell for a run, a walk to Trevino, and then a 3-run double by the rookie Jeff Hamilton on a fly ball that only traveled 360 feet. Coleman broke in a little bit, and he hit it on 0-2. Ball 1 to Sachs. He doubled to right, scored a run, and grounded out to 3rd. Greg Matthews trying for number 5. Later in the game, we'll have the McDonald's scoreboard updating you on scores and start times of other baseball games around the league. A lot of finals are already in. 2-1 to Sachs. Montreal picked up a game, and they're 10.5 out. Kansas City snapped an 11-game losing streak. Sachs waited and then tried to go to right.
Lonnie Smith scored all 3 runs in that game.
Oh, did he? At the same time?
No.
You can't put anything past Lonnie.
Well, that's right.
They've been playing without George Brett. Pendleton scoops it. This is going to be close. He is safe. That'll be an error. It's an error charge to Pendleton on the low throw.
Well, he had trouble handling it, but he did keep the ball in front of him.
And he had time. And he was in good throwing position, but nicely couldn't help him out. And Sachs is a threat to run. Now it is 7 hits, 3 walks, and an error. 11 runners so far. You can't afford to do this when Valenzuela is pitching against you.
Well, they may have enough already.
Landreau singled and scored and grounded out. Foul and a half swing. Another bad ball out of the strike zone. Matthews started the evening with a 2.66 earned run average. You recall the last time he worked, he had to leave the game up in San Francisco with a pulled side muscle. And he's pitching here in his hometown. Time is called as the throw went over to first. I understand Matthews had a lot of friends here at the park tonight. A big pass list.
Long list, boy. Long list.
They were all bragging about knowing him after the first inning. Nobody claimed to be a friend or a relative. Who is this pitcher?
Who is this guy?
1 on and nobody out.
John Tudor and Dave Drabecky will hook up in San Diego tomorrow. Friday, Danny Cox and Andy Hawkins.
Andy Hawkins.
Right. Bob Forsch for the Cardinals on Saturday. They don't know who they're going to throw yet, San Diego. And it'll be Tim Conroy, who looked very, very sharp here last night, against Lamar Hoyt on Sunday. We'll televise from down there Saturday and Sunday.
I guess Ed Whitson will be put right into their rotation.
Probably will be. Yes, that's right.
They reacquired him. Sachs draws another throw. Strike 2, the count on Landry. In the bottom of the 4th, 4-0 Dodgers. Landreau doesn't strike out very often, even against left-handed pitching. Ken Landreau used to play at Minnesota. Twins had some players at that time, didn't they? Including Carew.
Played his college ball at Arizona State.
A late swing, and Landreau was able to get a piece of it.
He's only a 188 lifetime hitter against the Cardinals, but he did hit .268 against them last season.
And hit well in the playoffs. In fact, he was their best hitter during the playoffs.
They hit .389 in the LCS.
You remember that lovely day out here when Mr. Clark hit the home run?
Oh, we were enjoying the game then, weren't we?
A pop-up for the first out. Smith. 1 gone.
I guess the only thing constant in baseball is change, and certainly things have been very, very tough when you look at what's happened this season.
The only constant is change.
The only thing that's constant is change.
Huh. A quotable quote.
I'm just trying to explain what's happening as best I can.
A quotable quote. The batter is Bill Russell. He's walked and scored and lined out to left. The walk to him in the first inning didn't help. Runner goes, and a base hit. Sachs stops, gets back. Good play by Andy Van Slyke. Sachs lost a step on the way down to second, fearing the ball might be caught.
Ozzie did a good job of kind of looking like he had a play.
Well, Dodgers left 2 on in the first. They left the bases loaded in the third. They have 2 on, 1 out here. And there they go in the bullpen.
Ray Burris up and throwing for the second time this evening.
Enos Cabell, the batter. He singled, drove in a run, and lined out to right. He's a low ball, first ball hitter. That was too low. Ball 1. 8 hits for Los Angeles now. Four to nothing in the 4th. Dodgers trying to get more for Fernando. Ozzie trying to keep Sachs close at second. They've got him picked off, and Ozzie chases him, and Pendleton tags him, and the other runner stays at first. So Sachs is picked off for the second out of the inning. The play went 1-6-5. Ozzie played it right. He made Sachs run. It was a pretty tricky move by Matthews. I don't know if it was a balk or not.
I don't know either, but it was a tricky move.
It really froze Sachs. And then because Ozzie made Sachs run, he couldn't stop, and Pendleton tagged him out. Now the runner at first, 2 out. There's Russell. And a 1-ball count on Enos Cabell. I think Sachs, the reason Sachs wasn't just fooling around down there. He was thinking about stealing third.
Yes, he was, and he was caught going that way.
And Russell got off strided and just got back. Outfield plays Cabell about straight away, and Van Slyke shallow in center. And he plays center field a lot more shallow than Willie McGee does. Willie's out with a bad knee, available to pinch hit. A hit and an error in this inning. Ball 3. And the on-deck hitter, Trevino. Cabell might be swinging on 3-0. A pretty good cripple shooter. But they made him take, and it's 3-1. San Diego tomorrow, and telecasts Saturday and Sunday. About Monday? Nothing.
Everybody's off.
Cabell on a 3-1 change, misses. 3-2. Some pitch. Now the runner will go. Nicely plays behind him at first base. The runner will go with 2 out. Scores easily, and Cabell has a double, and it's 5-0.
Picks up his second RBI of the game.
You could tell as soon as he hit it that he had the gap plugged out there. He stayed down on the ball. Remember, we told you he's a low ball hitter. He went down and got it. Landrum had no chance, and by the time Van Slyke got it back, Russell, running on the play, scored to make it 5-0 and bring Whitey Herzog out. The batter is Trevino, and we're going to have a new gladiator out there on the mound for the Cardinals.
Ray Burris will get the call. So it's going to be Burris coming on for the Cardinals as the Dodgers have increased their lead to 5-0 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And we'll take time out for these messages. Ray Burris comes out of the bullpen. He has been relegated to bullpen duties now that Conroy is back and starting. He's 4-4 and a 4.45 ERA.
Catcher, Alex Trevino.
This is his 3rd relief appearance. Trevino comes up with a runner at second, 2 out. Looked like Matthews had helped himself by picking off sacks at second base. And then the 2-out hit by Cabell. So the first offering from Burris to Alex Trevino is a ball, with Cabell at second base and 2 out. Dodgers and the Cards vying for the rubber game here. It'll take some doing against Fernando in the middle portion or the late innings of this game to get back in. It's 5-0. Cardinals have been out hit 9-2. Burris popped one in there, 1-1. Rick Owenby went out when Tim Conroy came back on the active list. Conroy became a starter, pitched extremely well here last night, got the victory. And Burris went to the bullpen, and here he is. Missing inside, ball 2.
Getting a lot of mail tonight, aren't we?
We always do. There always have been a lot of Cardinal fans here in Los Angeles. Late swing and a foul. Some folks from Anheuser-Busch, Roland von der Haar and Lance McKinley. Wanted to say hello to the folks back home. Dina Bartis. Fly ball foul, goes out of play.
Well, right now we'll pause for station identification as we remind you this is the Cardinals Television Network.
Your home for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. This is KLJB TV Davenport.
Burris pitching to Trevino, and there's another hit. And here comes another run. No chance for Van Slyke. That makes it 6-0. That run is charged to Matthews. So a couple of hits after 2 were out. Van Slyke was going to try to throw him out at the plate. He had little chance, and then he fumbled it. Cabell running all the way with 2 out, and Slyke bobbled the ball.
Here's a look. Got the ball and then had problems getting it out of the glove.
He did. The batter is Hamilton. The rookie third baseman has a bases-loaded double and a wasted single. Dodgers have 6 runs on 10 hits. Has the makings of a sad trip to San Diego tonight.
Ooh.
6-0 Dodgers behind Fernando. 1-1. Did that double by Hamilton with the bases loaded in the first inning look strange to you?
Yeah, sure did. He hung a curveball, and of course it was misjudged.
Coleman took a step in, didn't he?
Yeah, he
got across.
He misjudged it badly.
We remarked last night on the telecast that Lou Brock frequently told us that left field was tough to play here in Dodger Stadium at night.
That's right. I don't know, Jack. It always looks to me like it's darker in left field here than any place on the field. I don't know why.
And the ball gets caught in the lights up here frequently. Dave and Linda Wilkie are here visiting. We wanted to say hello to the folks back home. And strikeout of Hamilton ends the inning. But the Dodgers add 2 more on 3 hits. 2 of them after 2 were out. 1 error and 1 left. They've left a half a dozen, scored a half a dozen, and we played 4 innings.
The August 24th Cardinal Notebook Day. All the fans 17 and under with a paid admission receive that brightly colored 3-ring binder, which will include a Swingline tot stapler and a valuable discount coupon on back-to-school items at your local Kroger stores. It's a valuable notebook package, only available to those fans 17 and under attending that 1:15 game on Sunday, August 24th, against the Houston Astros. So don't forget, Notebook Day coming up at Busch Stadium.
Mike Heath.
We have a cheerleading section down below us here. 6-0. The Dodgers about hit the Cardinals 10-2, teeing off on Greg Matthews and getting a base hit against Burris. Good for a run, and Mike Heath lines it right at the left fielder. See, there again. The problem is the lights, and Landreau had to battle that one all the way, and he was lucky he caught it. 1 out.
He went down just as that ball hit his glove, and he really did have a tough time with it. You see him there kind of rubbing his eyes. Now watch this.
He staggers.
Center fielder.
Right here. And
he caught it blindly. He stuck the glove out there and flinched, moved his head away, and was fortunate enough to catch it. 1 out.
He's shading his eyes out there now, trying to.
I bet if Lou Brock's at home watching you, say, well, I know what you going through out there, Kenny. Here's Van Slyke, struck out his first time against Fernando. Ball 1. Valenzuela works way off on the third base side of the pitching rubber and helps his breaking stuff. And a strike. You know, in high school and college ball, you have to have your foot completely in front of the pitching rubber. And there's a foul ball. And that really is the rule in the big leagues, too, and in the National League. You talk to some of the umpires about it, and they said, just be quiet about it. We have enough problems without changing that. But if you look at the front foot of Fernando, it really should be completely in front of the pitching rubber.
And it is, as you see, off to the side.
Hey, he's barely touching.
Right.
There's a pitcher who used to work just the opposite, Jim Constanti, long ago of the Phillies. He used to work off the first base end of the pitching rubber. And it makes sense, particularly when you throw screwballs, as Fernando does. 2-2 to the batter. And a tap foul by Van Slyke. With 1 out in the 5th, and the Dodgers leading 6-0. Fernando with a record of 10-6 and an earned run average of 3.08. But he has the Cardinals shut out. He's a strong performer, capable of going the distance. He has 10 complete games, and he's pitched 3 shutouts.
The Cardinals have been shut out 10 times.
10, right. These two teams traded shutouts. Dodgers won 1-0. Cardinals won 1-0. This is the biggest offensive outburst of the series.
Cardinals only shut out 8 times in all of the '85 season.
Things have changed. First place Boston won in the American League. Won at home against Oakland. In first place California won in the West. Houston and the Giants both lost, so they're tied. The Mets lost. Montreal won. Montreal 10.5 out. 3-2 to Van Slyke. And another foul. You know, if the Cardinals had the record right now they had it this time last year, they'd still be about 10 games behind New York.
That's right. I was just going to say that, you know, that's the situation. Montreal's played very good baseball.
Yeah, they're 9 games over 500. You know, they should be, you know, a game or 2 or 3 games out.
I think they'd be in the thick of it.
Full count to Van Slyke. He's out. He went down swinging his first time, and this time, on the 4th strikeout for Fernando, he was called out. He froze him, took a little bit off a breaking ball. No doubt about the fact it was a strike, 2 out. So we've caught the Mexican left-hander on an evening when he has his good stuff. Pendleton has one of the 2 Cardinal hits. It was off the glove of the pitcher. Ball 1. Well, you knew when those 4 runs crossed the plate in the first inning, it was going to be this sort of long night against Fernando. 1-1. There's a case of Fernando getting a pitch on the outside, which may have been out of the strike zone. He paints that corner so well. And of course, he's wise enough to throw it a little bit outside and get those calls. 2-1. Outfield to the right for Pendleton. No home runs this year. Is he going to go through the whole year without a homer? That's 3-1.
Last Cardinal 2-homer was Lavalier at Philadelphia.
Well, we got one from.
Oh, we got one from
Heath.
That's right.
Up in Frisco.
That's right. And the last two. Heath homered at Frisco on the 5th, and Lavalier at Philadelphia on the 19th of June.
Really? Only one since then? The batter is Kurt Ford.
Batting for the pitcher, Burris, number 27.
Here in the 5th inning, he bats for Burris. Burris pitched a third of an inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. And the Cardinals will use their 3rd pitcher of the night. Strike 1 to Kurt Ford. And a swing and a breaking ball. Got Perry out there. He'd be my guess. It's hard to see from where we're sitting.
Can't quite see from here, Jack.
That would be my guess. And Pat Perry will be the hurler. That's only a guess. You can't see him, can you?
No, but I can see the other pitchers who are sitting, and it's got to be Perry up and throwing. But he's so far down the right side that you can't pick him up.
Ford is caught looking. He can't believe it. He's out on strikes, and the inning is over. That's 5 strikeouts for Valenzuela. He thought that pitch was low. No runs, no hits, a walk, 1 left for the Cards, who have left 3 while being shut out. And we go to the bottom of the 5th, 6-0 LA.
The folks at McDonald Restaurants present the National League scoreboard. Atlanta over Philadelphia. Cincinnati bombing the Mets. It was Chicago over San Francisco 4-3. Montreal defeats Houston 2-1, and down the coast, Pittsburgh leads San Diego 5-3. They're in the 6th inning. The new Cardinal pitcher, as Jack had suggested, is Pat Perry, a native of Taylorville, Illinois. There's Pat.
San Diego, by the way, Perry with a record of 1-2. San Diego missing a chance to get within 1 of the lead. If the Dodgers win here tonight, they'll only be 7.5 out, despite the fact they will be 8 games under 500. So everybody in the Western Division, including Cincinnati, now 5.5 out, has a chance. Ball 1 is low to the number 7 hitter, Reggie Williams. He's had a single, a double, and he's batting .310 in his first full season with the Dodgers. This fellow's from Memphis, Tennessee. Are they watching there tonight?
I'm sure there are. Some of the folks are.
Ball 2 from Perry. Williams, Duncan, and Fernando. 6-0 Dodgers. Ball 3. Dodgers have 10 hits, and the Cardinals have given 3 walks. 3-1. Four in the first for Los Angeles, and 2 more in the 4th inning. Williams has no big league home runs. It's unusual, isn't it, for an outfielder? And how things have changed. 3-2. He used to be the outfielder's first baseman and third baseman, and frequently the catcher would provide the power. They could have bought a shortstop or a second baseman who was a light hitter, particularly at short. But things have changed. There's one for Ozzie and a big hop. 1 gone. Perry came back to get him after falling behind 3-0. Here's Duncan, who's popped out and been given a walk. He's back in the lineup after an absence of 20 days with a bad ankle.
He has hit more home runs than anybody in this lineup tonight. 6.
And some of the people out here, some of his teammates, started to kid him, perhaps kidding on the square, about not being anxious to get back into the lineup. Then the press picked up on it, so they've been on his neck a little bit. Ball 1.
He's a rather flamboyant gentleman.
He met with rather quick success. They changed him from second baseman to a shortstop, and he became a real favorite here last year. Now he's batting .224. Things have caught up to him a little bit. Switch hitter. Perry, the third Cardinal hurler. All 6 runs charged to the starter, Greg Matthews. He'll be 4-2 if it doesn't change. Ball 3. Perry was 3-0 on the first hitter, came back and got him. 3-0 here. Cardinals sent Owenby out. Perry was one of the pitchers wondering whether it would be him or somebody else. He walks Duncan. It's the 4th walk given to the Dodgers this evening, and it brings up Valenzuela.
Pitcher.
He may be bunting.
Valenzuela.
Dodgers already lead 6-0. Fernando flied out, leaving 2 on in the first. Then he grounded out, leaving 3 men on in the 3rd inning. He's been facing left-handed pitching all night.
Looking down to Joe Amalfitano, who coaches here at 3rd.
They may be playing for the additional run, trying to avoid the double play. On the other hand, they like to see him swing the bat. Strike 1. No bunting there, right?
He sort of probably said, go up there and pump, kid. We're leading 6-0.
And that's what the score is here in the 5th. And a ball, 1-1. John Tudor tomorrow night. He'll try for number 7 again. Had the lead up in San Francisco the last time he worked, but let it slip away. A couple of walks hurt him. And the Giants did some clutch hitting. Ball and a strike to the Dodger hurler. Ball 2. Under ordinary circumstances, you'd look for some running from Duncan. Here comes Mike Rourke, the pitching coach. He thinks he's detected a flaw, and he's going to try to straighten him out. Rourke does it in just a very few words. Heath back behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike to count to Fernando. With Steve Sachs on deck. Dodgers 4 in the first, 2 in the 4th. They've had men on base in every inning except 1. And they chased Greg Matthews long ago. Bad ball inside, and Fernando went for it. 2-2.
Must have hit him on the left foot a little bit.
Hit him on the tootsie.
He's walking around there.
El País. Dwelling un poco. It hurts a little. 2-2. Oh, Fernando, who now has 9 toenails, gets back in. Perry throws a screwball and usually is more effective against right-handed hitters. That foul caught the catcher. And then Hoyt. Everybody's getting nicked. Fernando goes over to commiserate. He said, well, my toe hurts. Where does it hurt you?
Here comes Gene Gieselman. Let's see where this got. I can't tell from that angle exactly where that caught Heath.
Heath is tough. We'll watch from this angle. Ball hit him right in the abdomen, it looked like, didn't it?
Yep.
2-2.
Now Heath is jawing with Fernando about their problems.
They're laughing a little bit. Okay, let's strike him out and get him out of there. 2-2 the count. Outfield plays around to the left. 1 on, 1 out. Lead runner goes on to third base. Against the left-hander, Fernando corked it into right field. They love it here. Some of the fans give him a standing ovation. That's the 11th Dodger hit. Looked like that pitch was low. Let's look. It was down around the knees or a little bit below. And here's a tough fella to get on a double play coming up to the plate. There goes Duncan on to third. Fernando talking to Manny Mota, the coach. The batter is Sachs. He is doubled, grounded to third, and reached on an error by the third baseman. Six to nothing Dodgers. They're having a good old time tonight here at the expense of the Redbirds. I thought Matthews was going to pitch a good game, especially against this makeshift Dodger lineup. A big hit by the rookie third baseman Jeff Hamilton in the first inning with the bases loaded, 1 out.
Well, he was coming off that problem with the nerve, the hip problem. Might have been a little apprehensive. I don't know. He didn't seem to have much going for him naturally in that first inning, and then settled down a bit in the second. But
he squirmed through the third when the Dodgers left 3 on. Then an error started the fourth inning. He picked that man off. But Cabell got a big hit against him. 2-0 to Sachs. Watch it. And a strike. Perry, with the kind of pitching stuff that he has to pitch ahead of the batters on the count to make that screwball effective. Sachs will go the other way with a pitch. Pulls this one for a double play ball. And the inning is over. Started by Ozzie. Her in the middle. No runs, 1 hit. A double play, a walk, 1 left. Dodgers have left 7. We've played 5, and LA's on top 6-0.
well, Jack Buck was talking about the movie stars and celebrities that used to show up here at Dodger Stadium. Not quite as many of them as we used to see, but very talented Mr. Jerry Vale just stepped into the booth.
And we saw Danny Kaye earlier this evening. He's a good Dodger fan.
Oh, yeah, Danny's always here. Gregory Peck used to come.
Yeah,
we don't see him very often.
Cary Grant used to come to the ballpark a lot, and George Raft was a regular visitor to the ballpark. Don Rickles, of course, Rickles can't go into Lasorda's office anymore with the new edict that's been handed down.
For the Cardinals, left fielder Vince Coleman.
Here's Vince Coleman in the top of the Cardinal batting order in the 6th inning. Coleman has fly to center, popped to first. He's in the doldrums again with the bat. He's been hot and cold this year.
He's sure having trouble getting around on it right now.
Coleman, Smith, and Her here in the 6th. Cardinals have had 2 hits plus a walk. 3 base runners in 5 innings. Ball 1. Gary Dale still does a lot of work around the country.
Oh, yes.
He still sing. He told me last time I saw him, Jay, that he works a lot of condominiums, where people who own condominiums get together and throw a party and hire entertainers. He said he stays very busy and makes pretty good money doing it. 2 balls and a strike to Coleman. Dodgers leading comfortably 6-0. 2-2 on Vince. As Fernando's tough to hit against, man. You see something you can knock around, you better get after it, because when he gets ahead of you, he can carve you up. A fastball and a pop fly. 2 sacks. 1 out. The Sachs is a bouncy player. He's made his share of errors, but he's among the top hitters in the league, and he gives a lot of verve to the ball club out there.
Very talented young man. Keeps them loose in the clubhouse and does a lot of wonderful charity work in the L.A. area.
Oh, the leadoff man is gone, and Ozzie, who is fouled out to the catcher and flied out to deep left, is up. Ball 1. Not much going on in the game at the moment, so some of the fans having their own fun. You know, despite the fact they draw such big crowds every night, big totals every year, very well-behaved crowds out here, Jay. You never see the rowdyism that you see at some of the ballparks.
I was talking to Ben Scully about that last night. They're very good fans here in L.A.
High chopper, and Duncan charges in, and he throws him out. Duncan was on the move. Got plenty on that little flip, and they're 2 out. Cardinals can't make any noise against Fernando. Herr will bat. He has one of the 2 Cardinal hits, the other by penalty. Herr's double went off the glove of the center fielder. The single by penalty went off the glove of Fernando. He could very well have a no-hitter going. Ball 1.
Back to that conversation with Ben Scully last night. He was complimenting the Cardinal fans. Had a lot of nice things to say about him. He said one place where it is very, very tough to go for the Dodgers is to San Francisco. He says they get a little rough up there, Candlestick, when the Dodgers come to town.
Herr is going to be out by plenty. Takes care of the Redbirds in the 6th. So only 3 base runners through the first 6 innings. Bottom of the inning with Landreau to lead it off. Dodgers on top 6-0.
Yep, when the Giants come to St. Louis Tuesday night, July the 22nd, it'll be United Church of Christ night, and for ticket information, call Linda Frisch or any United Church of Christ in the St. Louis area. Also Ralston Purina night, and for ticket information, you can call Ralston Purina's corporate personal services office. On Wednesday night, the 23rd, Chester, Illinois night. For tickets, you can contact Ted Search at the Chester Chrysler Plymouth office. Okendo comes in to take over at shortstop for the Cardinals.
He's the Irish kid, right? Okendo?
No, not Irish. The secret weapon, as Mr. Shannon calls him.
As he gets a breather, he was 0 for 3. His batting average has dropped a little. He's been struggling with a bad leg. He has an injured calf muscle. Landreau is first up. Pat Perry's the pitcher. Pretty good play by the first baseman. Nicely. He's a big guy, but he covered some ground on that one. Landreau is the first out in the 6th. Very good play by Nicely. Landreau cracked the bat. I don't know if Herr would have gotten to the ball or not. Perry got over there and covered.
I want to remind the folks that we'll be on the air Saturday at 9 Central Time from down in San Diego. Sunday afternoon's game at 3 right here on Channel 5.
Here's ball 1.
There are those times for you as we have 2 more telecasts from this West Coast
Who's
trip.
the Cardinal pitcher on Saturday? You had him listed
Saturday
there.
it's going to be Bob Forsch, and we would imagine Ed Whitson, as you mentioned, probably will go into the starting rotation. Sunday, Conroy gets the call again against Lamar Hoyt.
And of course, all the pitchers will be available with the All-Star break commencing on Monday. This is the start. Here, the high foul ball that's going out of play. Nicely going over. The Cardinals starting the second half of the season here tonight, and apparently on the wrong foot. They've been out hit 11-2 and trail 6-0. There's one out, and Bill Russell with a walk, a single, 2 runs scored at the plate. Russell plays every position. We haven't seen him catch. We've seen him every place else: third base, shortstop, second base, first base. 3-1.
Spent his entire career with the Dodger organization.
Perry worked the fifth, got into trouble, but got out of it. Foul ball. Heath came shooting out from behind the plate, tried to get it, but it went foul. 3-2. Heath can really move from behind the plate. Six to nothing Dodgers. They got 4 in the first and 2 in the fourth. Cabell has driven in 2 runs. Trevino 1, and Hamilton, the rookie third baseman, drove in 3. Fly ball foul, and the right fielder may have a chance. Landrum can't get there.
Bill Russell has played in more games than any other LA Dodger. He is third on the all-time Dodger list. 2,124 games now. That's behind Zach Wheat and Pee Wee Reese.
Pee Wee Reese piled up that many, huh?
Yeah.
A couple of thousand, huh?
Yeah.
3-2. Coleman is there for the putout. 2 out. Russell got into that one pretty well. 2 out.
He hasn't hit a home run. Russell hasn't in his last 852 times at bat.
No.
You have to go way back to 83 since he's homered.
What did he play for the Dodgers? How many games here?
He has now played in 2,124.
Someday I'm going to add up how many I've broadcast. It's 5,000 or 6,000. I don't know.
Would have to be.
More than 5. Probably close to 6. Should I count the mistakes too? Strike 1. 2 out here in the inning. The batter is Cabell. He's been a handful tonight. Hit the ball hard 3 times. Single homer run in the first, lined out to right, then double homer run in the fourth. He had only 11 runs batted in before tonight. With a lot of their regulars out, the Dodgers are looking for a little offensive production. Cabell has no home runs this year. He had a couple last year. Still strike 2. Tough to get that screwball past Cabell because he goes the other way so well.
Cabell now has hit in 19 of his last 36 games. He's hit .321 against left-handers in his last 3 years, and that's what he likes to do.
He golfs that one foul. He can hit that low pitch. It stays strike 2. Cardinals play a daylight game in San Diego tomorrow. Then night games Friday and Saturday. Daylight game on Sunday. Back home Sunday night. Whitey Herzog goes to Houston to manage the All-Star team. They'll announce the National League All-Star starters tomorrow. Dodgers have gone down 1-2-3 only once tonight. This makes it the second time as Landrum takes care of it. We've played 6 innings. Cardinals have been out hit 11-2 and trail Fernando and the Dodgers 6-0.
Leading off for the Cardinals, first baseman Alan Nicely.
For an adventure into St. Louis history and a unique wildlife experience, of course, there's Grant's Farm in St. Louis. Tours are Tuesday through Sunday, and reservations are required. You can Call 314-843-1700 for information and reservations. Grant's Farm nicely leading it off in the 7th. Here again, Mike Shannon.
Allen is 0 for 2. He's flied to right. He's struck out. And the Cards are getting a shellacking tonight at the hands of the Dodgers. 6 runs on 11 for Los Angeles hits. And Fernando is working his way on a 2-hit shutout here in the 7th. Just inside, wasted delivery. Fernando way up in a number of pitching categories in the National League. Tough play for the second baseman. Sachs makes a good play, and he gets the slow-footed nicely by a half step. Good play. Take another look at it. Sachs knew what he had to do. Get that short hop and plant the foot all at the same time. Watch him do it. Plants the foot, and makes the throw. Good play. Fernando is trying to tie for the league leadership in runs, in wins, with his 11th tonight. He'll tie Raleigh of the Phillies and Fernandez of the Mets if he can get his 11th win here this evening. In strikeouts, Fernando is second in the league. Shutouts, he's tied for first with 3. Nepper has 3, and he's working on his 4th. He's also atop the National League in complete games. He's already recorded 10 of those. Innings pitched. He'll be right up knocking on Scott Storr of Houston. Duncan takes care of Landrum, and quickly 2 away here in the Redbirds 7th. And for Fernando, that's 6 in a row now he's set down. He retired the first 7 he faced. And now he's retired 6 more. So Fernando is second in innings pitched, first in complete games. He'll be tied for first in wins if he gets this one. He'll be second in strikeouts. And if he gets the shutout, he'll be first all by himself in that department. He's already tied the National League lead in shutouts. He has 3. Mike Heath is grounded to third. He's flied to left. And he takes a strike, and he's quickly in the hole and 2. Fernando just breezing here with a 6-0 lead. Just outside. If Fernando shuts out the Cards here tonight, they'll have gone through this Dodger series without scoring an earned run. They were shut out the first night. Combination of Dodger hurlers. Scored 1 unearned run to win 1-0 last night. And here Fernando has them shut out on just 2 hits in the 7th on this final of the 3-game series. Got it. Strikeout number 6 for the talented lefty. After 6.5, we have 7th inning stretch time. Dodgers lead 6-0.
San Francisco, very much in the thick of things in the West, will play 3 night games at Busch Stadium Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, the 21st, the 22nd, and then the 23rd. The Cardinals will be off on Thursday, the 24th, and play San Diego the weekend of the 25th, 26th, and 27th. Trevino 1 for 2 with an RBI. The veteran catcher looks at ball 1. And Mike Heath is out of there. He has just been ejected by plate umpire Bob Davidson. Heath was called out on strikes as the last hitter in the top of the 7th. He protested a pitch that looked like, in all honesty, it was low and inside. Now this pitch to Trevino could well have been a strike over the outside corner at the knees, and Heath said something to Davidson, and Heath has been ejected from this ball game. Now here comes Whitey Herzog walking very slowly out. He just now reaches the scene. Heath is still talking with Davidson. Whitey steps in between the pair, and he is going to discuss some international matters with the plate umpire. And now the crowd is going to yell and whoop it up as the Cardinal catcher heads to the dugout and on to the clubhouse. The pitch that Perry threw was down and away. And as we see the replay, it was a ball. But he said something, and that related as much to the called third strike against him as anything. Whitey's say with plate umpire Bob Davidson is very brief. They could not have discussed more than 2 or 3 countries in the international scene. And Whitey goes back and takes a chair in the dugout. Now the Cardinals will bring in Mike LaValliere, I'm sure, from the bullpen, and he'll put on the tools as Perry tunes up with Tom Lawless. Well, it was a big date for ejections in the American League. At Texas, Yankee manager Lou Piniella was ejected. At Fenway, John McNamara, the Bo Sox skipper, was ejected. And at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, the Mariners manager and third base coach Dick Williams and Ozzie Virgil were thrown out. Not to be outdone, Mike Keith has been ejected from this game.
Well, I wonder what he said. Any idea what he said?
Yeah.
Let us have it. Don't sit on that information.
Even at this late hour, it's still pretty well rated only for adult ears.
Heath had been called out on strikes at the end of the last half inning and said something to the umpire then, and apparently resumed the argument. And the umpire ran him, and Clint Hurdle takes over behind the plate.
Yeah, Clint Hurdle is going to come in rather than Mike LaValliere, so Hurdle will get some work. And it looks, as this night goes on, like it's one of those evenings where a lot of people are just getting work more than anything else. So Hurdle is behind the plate. The count on Trevino is 1 ball, and Perry is ready to go. 6-0. The Dodgers lead in this one. Here comes the pitch, and it's low, 2-0. '27-year-old Pat Perry is ready. He sends it up there, and it's way outside, about 3 feet outside, and the count's 3-0.
Interesting story. Pat Perry released, and then one of the Cardinal equipment men, Frank Koppenbacher, mentioned him to the Cardinals. The Cardinals took a look at him, signed him, put him in the minor leagues, and he's been a big help here. Sent him out. He's been recalled, and since his plane trip back, he's pitched very well. Out of play and into the souvenir case for some lucky Dodger fan. Did we get the paid attendance here tonight?
38,000 and a few numbers behind it. I just heard them announce it over the press box.
38,000 plus, so about 7 or 8 additional thousand from the other 2 games. That's what Fernando's worth. That'll play for Vince Coleman or Ozzie. Who wants it? Ozzie says he needs to pronounce it, or Kendall rather. So Jose takes care of Alex Trevino.
Jeff Hamilton.
And for Perry, that is 5 in a row retired. Here's Jeff Hamilton. He's had a big night. The rookie doubled with the bases loaded in the first, singled in the third, fanned in the fourth.
Average up from 158 to 195 just in one evening.
He's just on the Dodger scene the last couple of weeks. He took over for Bill Madlock when he went down again. Young man from Michigan with him. And his 3rd hit of the night. It'll be for extra bases. Van Slyke.
Picked up by Van Slyke. Hamilton to second, and he pulls up with a turn there, and that is a 3-hit night for the Dodger rookie third baseman Jeff Hamilton. And the Dodgers have a dozen hits in this one. The only Dodger starter without a hit is Mariano Duncan, and he's got a pretty good chance as he moves on deck of getting up in this inning. That's only the second hit that Perry has given up. He's in his third inning of work. Reggie Williams, the batter. He's 2 for 3. The left-hander sets, throws, foul out of play to the right.
And how about the Giant third baseman, Brown? He's leading the league. Tony Gwynn has slipped off the past few days. He's dropped down to second now.
Mike, is hitting becoming a lost art?
Well, you see, some of the guys that are up there, Jay, are the strong guys. Brown leading the league, as Hamilton will move up on that delivery. Tell you, the National League has gone to the smaller, faster player because of the speed. As you see this pass ball off the glove of Clint Hurdle, and the reason that he had the pass ball there, he had his elbows inside his knees. If we can run that back one more time, show you young catchers out there something you should not do. You got.
And the crowd moans and groans and boos that scorer's decision. Runner at third, 1 out, and the infield now is pulled in. Williams is the batter, and the count's a ball and a strike. Perry from the set. Here's his pitch, and it's inside, 2-1. Hamilton leads at third with 1 out. The pitch to the plate. Change, foul back, 2-2 the count.
Like you say, Jay, this game is so simple until you do something fundamentally wrong, and then it's almost impossible. There's a good example. You have that catcher with his elbows out rather than in. Coach Clint Hurdle learning that trade. Got the elbows outside the knees now. See there, he cut almost the same pitch, but he had the elbow outside the knees, so it was an easy play. And the strikeout for Perry is his first. Take another look. Watch where the elbow is on the Cardinal catcher this time. Outside the knee, and you see him just simply bend the wrist and raise the elbow, make the catch. Here's Duncan, the shortstop. He's walked twice tonight. One intentionally. He's popped out 0 for 1. And the Dodgers are certainly glad to have him back in the lineup. Landrum will take care of Duncan and the Dodgers to end 7 innings. Base hit, the man stranded. The Dodgers have left 8. We played 7 full, and the Dodgers lead at 6-0.
To go to the 8th inning, and the Dodgers have a 6-0 lead. We're going to pause here for station identification. The Cardinals, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 3 left. The Dodgers, 6 runs, 12 hits, no errors, and Los Angeles has left 8. Valenzuela has gone all the way. This is the St. Louis Cardinals Baseball Network.
Talking with Jim Burrows, who is the producer and the brainchild of Cheers.
Ian FM Geneseo.
We go into the 8th inning, and the Dodgers are on top 6-0. They've out-hit the Cardinals 12-2. First up for the Redbirds will be Andy Van Slyke. Complete games are not unusual for Valenzuela. He has 10 of them. And he also has 3 shutouts. The first pitch of ball to Van Slyke. He struck out twice. Went down swinging one time, called out the next. We're in the 8th. Some of the fans start to leave. That's the way they do it here in L.A. There's a strike. Fernando gets one in there. Valenzuela has struck out 6, and he's walked only 1. So the Cardinals have had 3 base runners tonight. 2 hits and a walk. A swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and Van Slyke is in the hole. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Valenzuela could very easily have a no-hitter going. A single by Pendleton went off the pitcher's glove, and a double by Herr went off the glove of the center fielder, and he should have caught that ball. Next pitch, Van Slyke hits a 1-hopper to the first baseman, to the pitcher covering for the out. And he is 0 for 3, and Pendleton comes up. He's been on base twice. He's the only Cardinal who can make that statement. He has an infield hit and a walk. Terry's gone the entire year without a home run. He's playing in his hometown here in Los Angeles. And the other baseball, Cincinnati completed their sweep of the series in New York. A swing and a miss by Pendleton. Cincinnati beat the Mets 11-1. Browning over Gooden in that one. Butera a home run, 38,000 at New York. The Reds won at 11-1, and Atlanta won at Philadelphia 7-3. Doyle Alexander, just acquired by the Braves, was the winner. Here's a ball low. You know, Ken Wilson, people hear or read of the transaction, Doyle Alexander from Toronto to Atlanta. Probably didn't seem like an earth-shaking announcement. Another pitch to Pendleton and a swing and a miss. He's in the hole, 1-2. You get a ball club as close as Atlanta is to the lead and add a starting pitcher, you never know, that might throw them right over the rim.
And if you look at Doyle Alexander's history when he has changed uniforms, he's been superb each change with his new club immediately.
He's been around and he knows how to pitch, so we'll see some more of him before the year is over. And he was the winner today for Atlanta as they beat Philadelphia 7-3. 2-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. A hard screwball thrown to Pendleton. That's 7 strikeouts for Fernando, and it looks like the Dodger bullpen is going to get the night off. The Cubs won at San Francisco 4-3. The Giants tied it in the 9th, but the Cubs won it in the 10th 4-3. And Montreal won at home 2-1 over Houston.
Tom Lawless.
Home run by Andre Dawson in that game, and Floyd Yeomans won his 9th game for Montreal. Pittsburgh has a 6-4 lead in the 8th inning at San Diego, and that will keep the Padres from taking advantage of the loss by both Houston and the Giants. Ball 1 to the batter, Tom Lawless. Lawless pinch hitting here in the 8th inning. And a strike is called to him. 3 innings of work for Pat Perry.
It'll be Tudor against Rivecki Thursday. That's tomorrow down in San Diego. 1-2. Friday night, Danny Cox goes against Andy Hawkins. On Saturday, Bob Forsch, probably against Ed Whitson, who is now a Padre. And then Conroy against Lamar Hoyt on Sunday. We'll televise Saturday and Sunday. And strikeout number 8 for Fernando. 7.5 have gone by here at Dodger Stadium. 6-0 L.A.
Cardinals now pitching.
Tom Lawless stays into the game. He's now at third base, so it's Lawless, Oquendo, Herron nicely on the infield for the Cardinals, and Ken Daly is the 4th pitcher of the night for St. Louis. He follows Matthews, Burris, and Perry to the hill. The Cardinals have Coleman, Van Slyke, and Landrum in the outfield. Clint Hurdle is now doing the catching as Heath was thrown out of the game by plate umpire Bob Davidson in the 7th. Dodgers struck for 4 in the 1st, got 2 more in the 4th. It is 6-12-0 for Los Angeles, 0-2-1 for the Cardinals. And Valenzuela will lead off. He's 1 for 3 this evening.
Leading off for the Dodgers, pitcher Fernando Valenzuela.
Not too many remaining here with this 6-0 lead. A lot of folks have headed home, but those are here. Give Fernando a well-deserved round of applause. Flied to center in the first and left 2 on. Grounded out and stranded 3 in the third, and then got a single in the 5th. Here's a shot into center field. Van Slyke is on the run. It's over his head. It went off his glove, and it's a stand-up double for Fernando. Now, Van Slyke was playing in a very shallow center field, and Fernando popped it. Van Slyke thought he was going to get there. The ball careened off his glove. The big guy from Mexico bombing it out there. Now Van Slyke is on the go. Looks like he's going to get there off the glove. It's a double. Fernando picks up the 13th hit for the Dodgers. Steve Sachs doubled in the first. Was out trying to score. When he was cut down by Van Slyke, he grounded out in the second, reached on an error on the fourth, and hit into a double play in the 5th. And this is high and deep into the seats down the left side, and
Reached on an error. 13 Dodger hits, 2 for the Cards, and a 6-0 Los Angeles lead. Now the Dodgers warm up a pitcher in the bullpen. The pitch from Daly, and Sachs grounds it to the third baseman Lawless. The runner stays at second. The batter safe at first. Lawless threw the ball to the first baseman nicely. He came off the base, caught the ball, made the tag, and the ball came out of his glove. And the third baseman is charged with an error, first and second, and nobody out. Looked like Nicely took his eye off of the play to look down towards second base. No, he just missed the ball. Cardinals have made 2 errors now. Lawless looked at second, then made a leisurely toss wide of first, but it should have been caught, and the out should have been made. And Lawless is charged with an error, and the batter is Landreau. Dodgers trying to add to their 6-0 lead. Strike called on a breaking ball.
Fernando's at second, Sachs at first. Dodgers threaten to get more as they already lead it 6-0. Herr lets it go right under his glove. Valenzuela will come in 7-0. Ooh, me. 14 hits now for the Dodgers as they rule a hit on this play because, I suppose, Herr never got a glove on it. But the ball goes right under his glove. And it looked to me like he should have made the play. Seven 14-0 now for the Dodgers. And Sachs is out of the game, and we're going to get a runner. It'll be Craig Shipley running for Sachs.
Your attention, please. For the Dodgers, running at third base for Sachs, number 38, Craig Shipley.
Well, Craig Shipley is at third. Landreau is over at first. There's a run home. Still nobody out. Here's Bill Russell. Russell walked and scored in the first. Lined out in the second. Pops it up here. He singled and scored in the fourth and flied out in the sixth. And there's one gone.
First baseman, Enos Cabell.
Enos Cabell has 2 RBIs, a single, a double. He's lined to right and flied to right. 2 for 4 on the evening. 7-0, the Dodgers. That caught the inside corner. If the Cardinals can't come up with an earned run in the ninth, and hopefully they can get more than one, but if they can't, they will have played 3 games here in Los Angeles without an earned run. They won 1-0 last night on an unearned run. Error charge to Duncan. Inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals continue to have offensive problems. Curveball is fouled away. 1-2. In case you joined us late, Steve Braun, the Cardinals' all-time pinch hit leader, who recently retired as an active player, has been named the minor league roving hitting instructor. He takes over that position that was vacated when Mike Jorgensen took over as the manager at St. Petersburg. Jammed him, fouled it away. Cabell doing a good job of fighting it off. The Dodgers with 4 in the first, 2 in the fourth, 1 here in the 8th. Lead at 7-0. Right up the middle. It's 8-0. And Cabell gets his 3rd RBI of the night. Shipley coming home. He was running for sacks.
Catcher, Alex Trevino.
Trevino tonight has walked and scored, struck out, singled, got an RBI, and popped out. The Dodgers seem to be prolonging the inevitable this evening. Inside corner for strike 1. Daly has been touched for 3 hits. An error has been committed and 2 runs are home here in the 8th. Foul away, strike 2. And Trevino steps out. Struck him out. There are 2 gone. First strikeout for Daly.
Third baseman, Jeff Hamilton.
Well, there's a man who had a big night. Hamilton is 3 for 4, has 3 RBIs, couple of doubles and a single. And he gets a nice round of applause. He's got his average up to 214. Started the night batting 158. A couple of more lights like this and they'll be very happy they brought him up. As we've indicated over the last couple of evenings, the Dodgers didn't want to bring this young man up from the farm, but because of their injury problems they had to do it. Told you about Lasorda working with this young man. Here's a long one to left, and it is caught by Coleman. Boy, Vince got there and made a fine play that time. He robbed Jeff Hamilton in the first tonight. He misjudged a ball and really let Hamilton have a double, but not that time. Well, the Dodgers come up with 2 more on 3 hits and an error, and they strand 2.
Now for the Cardinals, left fielder Vince Coleman.
Shipley stays into the game and plays second base. Isn't he at second? He is, yes. Number 38, Craig Shipley. And we've got a new right fielder also. That is number 48 out there. Or is that 46? It is. It's Bryant. Yes. Ralph Bryant. 1 ball account to Coleman, leading it off in the 9th. Right up the middle. And Vince has the 3rd hit of the evening for the Cardinals. Been a long time since the Cardinals got a hit, way back in the 4th, a double by Herr with 1 out.
Shortstop Jose Oquendo.
Jose Oquendo will come to the plate. Fernando's statistics up to now. A very strong performance. Oquendo batting .359, 9 runs batted in. He took over for Ozzie. Strike on the outside corner. Foul back. Strike 2. Oquendo's a young man with a good-looking future. He hangs in there tough. Switch hitting for the first time since '83. He's 20 for 56 in his last 31 games. 4 for 10 in his last 3 starts. Inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gets away, and Coleman goes down to second. If they rule it a pass ball or a wild pitch. I guess it's a wild pitch. That's right. So it is Coleman down there at second, and 2-2 to Oquendo, and he puts it into right field. Coleman stops at third, runners at the corners with none out. So Oquendo continues his fine hitting, and Tom Herr will come to the plate. He struck out, doubled, and grounded out. Cardinals trying to get on the board here in the 9th, down 8-0. Cabell on the mound, visiting with Fernando Valenzuela. Hamilton, Duncan, Shipley, and Cabell on the infield now. Landreau, Williams, and Bryant in the outfield. The battery of Valenzuela and Trevino have gone all the way. Dodgers got 4 in the first, 2 in the 4th, 2 in the 8th. Goose eggs all the way across the board. Cardinals trying to score their first earned run of this series. 1 ball and no strikes to Herr. Two balls and no strikes. Valenzuela in a jam for the first time tonight. Misses inside. 3-0. There's a strike at the knees. Foul outside of third. 3-2. Cardinals do not have one man on the active roster who has better than a .290 average career against the Dodgers. And it has been tough going for the Redbirds. Payoff pitch, slashed foul. Kendo this season against the Dodgers is 3 out of 4. Foul and a broken bat. Coleman's at third. Oquendo at first. 3-2 to her. He's got some new lumber. Cardinals 8-10 in April, 9-17 in May. That was a killer. 15-14 in June. 2-6 so far in July. Shipley makes the play to first. The Cardinals score a run and get off the Schneider. It's 8-1. Her picking up his 23rd RBI of the season.
First baseman, Alan Nicely.
Oquendo out there at second for Alan Nicely with 1 out and a run home. Nicely hits it into left. Here comes Oquendo. It's 8-2. Nicely picking up his second RBI since coming up from Louisville. The Cardinals now have 5 hits. Still need a lot of base runners. 8-2 the score. Landrum tonight 0 for 3. He has popped out, flied to left, and grounded out. The Dodgers have a hurler up and throwing. It's Niedenfuhr. Time called. 1 strike to count to Landrum. Fouled away. Valenzuela trying to win number 11 and join Fernando and Shane Rawley as 11 game winners. Gooden and Krukow missed opportunities for number 11 today. 3-2. Fans getting on the umpire a little bit. A long one into left. And a fine play out there by Kenny Landreau right at the wall. The Cardinals have teed off a bit on Valenzuela here, but It's 8-2. And the Cardinals are down to Clint Hurdle. There's Landreau making a good play at the track. Clint Hurdle, who took over for Heath, who was thrown out of the game in the 7th inning. He got into it with plate umpire Bob Davidson. 1 ball and no strikes to Hurdle. One and one. Tudor and Dravecki tomorrow in San Diego. Inside. Cox against Hawkins on Friday. Saturday, a 9 o'clock start with our television in St. Louis. Bob Forsch probably against Whitson. There's a strike at the knees. Sunday, we'll televise the afternoon action at 3. Tim Conroy against Lamar Hoyt. 2-2, and those who are still here would like to see Fernando get the strikeout. Inside, 3-2. Valenzuela has struck out 8. He has walked only 1. He always has that excellent control. Struck him out, and the Dodgers are the victors. The 9th strikeout for Valenzuela. The Cardinals come up with 2 runs on 3 hits and strand 1. The final, 8-2 Los Angeles. More in a moment. At Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles wins it with 8 runs on 15 hits and no errors, and they left 10. 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 errors for the Cardinals with 4 left. The winning pitcher is Fernando Valenzuela. Fernando is 11-6 and joins, as we said, Raleigh and Sid Fernandez as 11-game winners. Matthews took the loss. He is now 4-2 on the year. And our Midas Touch Award goes to Mr. Valenzuela, getting number 11 here tonight. Lost the shutout, but pitched a very nifty 5-hitter. The Midas Touch Award, a donation to Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital in the name of Fernando Valenzuela. We'll be back with some final thoughts right after this. The Cardinals lose it 8-2 and are now 2-5 on this road trip with 4 games headed up down in San Diego, and it'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday action. We'll televise on Saturday at 9 Central Time and then again on Sunday afternoon for you. Well, for Jack Buck and for Mike Shannon, Jay Randolph here at Dodger Stadium. Guess it's time to say good night and good morning, and the Dodgers won it 8-2. St. Louis Cardinals baseball is a presentation of KSDK Sports. So long from Southern California.